My brothers and sisters, a few days ago in Panjim, I met a lady who said, "Father, during my travels, I saw a sight that inspired me." She saw a man from the Kurubar community, the shepherd community. They're nomadic shepherds, keep walking with the sheep. And among the sheep, this man picked up one of the sheep and carried it like this in his arms. And she could see that that sheep was wounded, a big wound on its leg. And her reflection was this: "Father, this is me. Jesus, the Good Shepherd, carrying me in my woundedness, in my brokenness." My friends, is one of the endearing, loving images from the Gospels. Jesus, the Good Shepherd, who carries us, who seeks, goes out in search of the lost sheep. Good. Today Jesus is asking us, will you help me in carrying the lost sheep? Are you ready to carry home someone who is wounded or broken? The three readings today have the same invitation for us. Now, my friends, before we go to the gospel, I want to ask you to wear two lens, chashma. With what lens do we see the gospel? Otherwise, we can go on another track. The first lens I want to ask you to put on is the lens that I am also broken. Did some of you go for Rob Galia's concert last night? No? Anyone? Yeah? Some of you? You remember what he asked? He asked, how many are messed up? Remember that? How many put up their hands? Everyone. Almost everyone. As far as I could see, they put up their hands. We are messed up people. We make mistakes. We are fragile. We want to do good, but we end up doing bad things. So please put on this lens that I am also weak and broken. Pope Francis says, where church is a field hospital, not for perfect people. Sorry, perfect people, namaskar. Thank you very much. Because you'll only find fault with all those sitting in the church today. Church is a field hospital. Battle is raging between good and evil. We are there, broken and wounded. Wounded are helping others who are wounded. Remember this first lens. The second lens that I want you to put on today before we go to the gospel is reconciliation. Put on this glass of reconciliation. Why am I correcting my brother or sister? Reconcile. I want them to come back. We are not here to say, I am better than you. You have done this. I scold you and put you down like a small child. No, this is not Jesus' intention. His intention is carry them back home. Go. Put your arms out wide like the prodigal father. Go out in search of the lost son. So keep these two lenses in mind before we go ahead. We are broken and we're going out to reconcile, not to scold and not out of a grudge to put them down. My brother, my sister, I'll teach you a lesson. That's not our intention at all. Okay? Is that good? 3 parts in this gospel. First, if your brother or sister sins, go and speak to them face to face. Not on Facebook, face to face. Call them to dialogue. Jesus' words, very practical advice, not some spiritual stuff. Very practical advice. Your brother sins, go and speak to them face to face. You read the first reading from Ezekiel, right? And God is telling the prophet Ezekiel, you are responsible for your brother. You are responsible, Ezekiel, prophet. Don't shirk your responsibility. Go and tell them who have sinned. Warn them, you're going on the wrong track. Get back on the right track. Course correction. Poor Ezekiel, he thought he could escape. You and I also. Why should I tell? Ami kita ashe kurum jay? Kita kulung jay? Why should I get into trouble? Zip it. Be careful, my friends. Sometimes silence is golden. True. True. If you have a spouse who is violent or abusive, sometimes silence is good, quiet. It does not work. Both fight, it becomes very bad. Sometimes our silence kills people. They are doing evil things. They are hurting their spouses or children. We know it. My sister or brother is addicted to something. But I keep quiet. I don't want to lose my friendship or relationship. How can I tell my brother, don't pay a bribe? How can I tell them? He'll tell you, tu kaun? Who are you? I know what you are. And we try to escape our responsibility of correcting our loved ones. Jesus is inviting us to be charitable. My friends, to be charitable does not mean to be kind in this sense of allowing people to go the wrong way. To be charitable is, I love you and I wish that you come back home in your woundedness. Not that I am better than you. Not a condescending way of talking. Come back. I want you home. If he listens to you, if she listens to you, you won back your sister, your brother. Second one, if he does not listen to you, Jesus' words, then what should we do? Go and cry? What should we do? Go and take one or two others to support you, to give a different perspective. I was a novice some years ago, and we had one interesting situation. Many nuns are here today. Sisters may have different ways of something similar. The brother was kept on a chair right here in the middle, and other brothers would sit round facing him. Many of them, they prepare. Novice master says, prepare and come. About each person, give him feedback on his face. Painful. Everybody telling me, Roland, you're like this, you're like that. I am thinking I'm on good holy saint, and they are pointing out my mistakes. It's tough. But it makes us strong. We get little buffalo skin. We need that. Buffalo skin. It makes us a little more humble. I have my weaknesses. I may not realize that, but others can see it and I learn. But it is a good exercise. We learn how to say, where to say, that's important. How to take out the emotion and to speak the facts, the logic, the reason. How to say, instead of saying, you're always like this, always late, to say, yesterday, today you have come late. Paul says today, second reading you read, you remember what you read? Even if you speak, I can't hear you. Somebody's making noise. Paul says, the commandment of love is greater than all these other hundreds, thousands of rules and regulations. Naka baba. The law of love Jesus gave you, that is important. You love somebody, you will point out to them and say, I love you, you're my wife, you're my husband, you're my son, I love you, and I'm telling you, this is not right. Paul says, love, great commandment. Taking two or three others, Jesus, practical, not ganging up, but showing the person there is a different perspective. The third thing Jesus says today's gospel, if he still does not listen, go and tell the church, tell the community. Perhaps he will listen to them, the PPC members, parish community, whatever. Padigar, all together come to know and say, yes, we love you, we care for you. Come back to church. Why are you running away? Come back. Or maybe you're a good, pious person, every day reading in front of the church with hands up, but still going home and ill-treating family members. That is not acceptable. Church community will point out, my dear friend, this is not what Jesus teaches us. And Jesus adds one little line there. If he does not listen to the church, if she does not listen to the church, treat them out as Gentile or, come on, correct, Gentile or tax collectors. Outcasts. The Jews thought outcasts. Pichelo. But my friends, if you look deeper, Jesus loved the Gentiles and the tax collectors. Jesus loved them. A couple of Sundays back, we saw the Syrophoenician woman. He says, "O woman of great faith, the scraps that fall from the table, Lord, give me that." O woman of great. Jesus loved the Gentiles and tax. We are called to love them too. My brothers and sisters, reconciliation. God is calling us reconcile, restore the dignity of people. Somebody has made a mistake. She or he is embarrassed. They are feeling ashamed. In their shamefulness, looking backwards, they trip and fall again. They are trying to come out of alcoholism or gambling, of coming to the casinos every weekend. But they look back and say, what a dirty man I am. They fall down again. But if you or I can say, I too have my weak points, I love you, I give you a good warm hug, come back home. In your woundedness, we will carry each other. That would be wonderful. That's today's gospel, my friends. The Good Shepherd, Jesus, is asking us one question today. Will you join me in carrying the wounded back home?